What's wrong with you? I know it doesn't fit. It's Valdosta State.
Oh, yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah. Come on already. I'm your host, BKP. We're at Circuit World in Blue Ridge. And it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Makes me think of my childhood.
Where's Valdosta State?
Yesterday.
Valdosta.
This would have to be the all-star panel, folks. This is Jay, Rick, and Bruce. While we're trying.
Who's buried in Grant's tomb?
After we figure out where Valdosta is in the great state of Georgia, we'll solve the world's problems next.
Is
I'm your host,
Lincoln really in the
BKP.
monument?
Bruce.
No, wish it was
It's
Georgia.
easy to tell Bruce is back, right? Not hard to figure that out.
That's so refreshing.
Can
though.
I at least do the intro?
Yes.
I guess
Okay, let's slow down.
Let's take a vote.
We're-
Okay, you can.
No,
All opposed?
BKP, Circuit World, Blue Ridge, Valdosta State. Angelo Nicolosi, my good friend Angelo Nicolosi, sent me. He is the recruiting director of Valdosta State, and the Fannin Rebels baseball team went down this past weekend and got a complete tour of the baseball facility and a nice little speech from all the staff there, the high school guys, and they sent BKP back. They said, take BKP back his Valdosta State jersey.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
yes, so I got that. I appreciate them.
Speaking of baseball, what about a guy who works the first game of the season? Bruce and I had
Oh, my God.
social event last night. Now hear me out. Bruce and I had a social event last night, so I'm excited to hear about
He's
the
always
score.
at a social event.
Yeah, Gilmer and Fannin, first game of the season, BKP in the booth. I'm texting him.
Runners at first and third.
Yeah, I'm texting
Oh,
him.
I had it down
And
last night. It's a little rusty.
here we go. I'm texting him.
Hey, here comes the staff.
And I said, BKP, what's the score? Game over, 11-0.
Who won?
Who won?
Yeah.
Nothing. Crickets. Here I am, scrambling last night. I finally go to the website, the Fannin County website, and I see Fannin wins 11. How does
wait a minute. I'm watching.
An announcer worth his salt not come up with at least the name of the winner?
So I'm watching Stranger Things on Netflix, and the phone is across the room, and we're watching, and it buzzes about 9 o'clock or whatever. The phone buzzes, and it's all the way in the kitchen. Lisa said, "Who's that?" I said, "I don't know. I get it when I go to bed. Watch it." So when I go to bed, I'm looking up. Rick, can you tell me who won? I'm like,
Really?
Who was? Oh, it was Rick. You kind of know who won. I gave him the score. Forgot to give him the team.
I couldn't believe it.
All right, folks.
Then he misspells Fannin.
That
What
was
can I
funny
tell
in
you?
1982, maybe 1976.
Hey,
Some comedians
I still have
even
the
did it.
lineup.
There
I
you
announced the games.
All right, let's get down to business. We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we got
All right, so
The all-stars are prepared, and we've got a listing.
Resource officer at the school.
You wanna
go.
Why didn't he go in? Did he freeze with fear? Or
what are you, a Cadbury egg? You're a Cadbury chicken or bunny?
he's Eggland's
What the
best.
heck?
Eggland's best. Parkland's best.
I mean, it's a very sad.
It's a sad
It is,
Very
To find out an armed deputy outside
was right there.
and did not go in, but yet a
Child.
guy that had spent his whole life in this school,
Oh, well, the
coach.
child.
the
Yeah.
coach,
Aaron
throws his body down as a shield and is dead. And a sworn. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. I say this all the time. I have the most respect for our law enforcement. I really do. And I tell my friends all the time, and Rick, we eat lunch with them from time to time.
Sure.
And I'll tell my friends at lunch, listen, the day of me ever getting out of the car at night and walking up to a car unknown, I'm not doing it. Now, I don't want to say I'm a coward, but I'm not doing it. These men and women that get out and walk up to cars of unknown and don't know what's about to happen.
tinted glass. You can't see.
Right.
Yeah,
so,
right.
so I have the utmost respect, but when I say you go into that line of duty, you go into that line of duty knowing. It's like the men and women, and I heard this, and it may upset people, but I heard, the men and women, the first responders at 9/11 went in that building. They didn't say, we're going to die. They went in. Okay,
Yeah.
we have situations all the time where first responders go in. And it's really sad to find out that this guy was armed It did not go into the
You know,
building.
he resigned immediately,
And retired.
and now the
Full pension.
Broward,
I don't say it as a laughing matter. It's
now the Broward County Police are having to protect his home.
Well, let me ask you this.
They're protecting his home, but he didn't protect their kids.
Right.
All
Yeah.
right, this
What's wrong with this
week we got
picture?
different subjects, but I laid this out here. It's very broad, and I opened up with this. Are we solving the problem, or are we coming up with solutions to adjust to live in the evils of the world today?
Yes.
Latter.
Right.
Yep. We're adapting to modern society.
Right. We're adjusting to the evils of the world we're living today. Now, for me, okay, we're supporting, and not when I say we, not all of us, but you know, we hear the masses cheering when we want teachers to have a gun or be able to have a gun. Okay, I'm okay with that. We hear the masses cheering when we say we want buzzers on all the doors, and once they're locked down, you know, nobody can get in. We're cheering. Okay. We hear people cheering when we say, well, we want retired law enforcement or retired military to maybe be in the halls with their own AR-15 in case. I get confused that those are the cheers that we're applauding when these are not schools anymore. They're the government institutions that buzz locked down that we gave our children to, that when you walk up as mom and dad, you're going to have a camera. Now, people make fun of me and say it's not that serious, but we're going to lock these things down so hard that if you go to pick your son up at school for a dental appointment, they're going to look up at the camera and you're going to buzz. You're going to look up and say, hey, I'm so-and-so's mom, and he has a dentist appointment. Hold on. They're going to go over to a database, see if your profile fits the profile outside to see if your child can come out and go to the dentist. Now, am I wrong?
That already happens for my children in
Am I
elementary
wrong?
school.
It's not going to happen everywhere.
No, it's
you
in-
know,
it's
for
in
the
my
rest of our
school.
lifetime.
Has
You know,
been for
certain I
years.
think schools will
I
happen.
disagree with you.
I disagree. It's going to happen. I
No,
believe
I
it's
do.
got
I tell you
to.
why, because I go to the schools. I go to the schools. Now, wait a minute. I'm going to tell you this. Just in Gilmer County, there's a school in Gilmer County, okay? Now,
Which shall remain unnamed.
no. I'm not being negative. Like, okay, if you go to a federal penitentiary, a state penitentiary for a visitation day, right? When
Can't get in.
No. When you go in, there is this cinder block area, okay? And it's bulletproof glass, and there's a little hole, and you say, I'm here for visitation, and you drive your driver's license in the slot, and they take it through, and they run it, and they come back, and then they buzz the door for you to come in.
I've never had an occasion to do that. Do you
Me
know?
either.
Okay, can I finish what I'm talking about?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. You go down, we had a school shooting, right? We had a school shooting. I used to walk in the school in Gilmer County, walk through the front door, and go to the office, open the door, and there was the counter, and there was the couple ladies there, and hi, how are you? And I'm here to talk to this class, and hold on a minute, we'll get you a visitor's pass. Now I go, and they've built the cement three-way block area, and you can get in the front door, and you have glass, and you will talk. You understand what I'm saying? It will happen.
It's starting to harden certain schools, but okay, that's either what, a high school or a middle school or
It's a middle school.
okay, but
It can happen.
it's just not going to happen across the country.
We
we
continue to evolve.
It's
We've
just not
been
gonna
evolving since 9/11. You know, there's something. You know, when did we used to see these big concrete pillars that stand this high in front of all the glass facades at the department stores? That never used to happen until all of a sudden we had people in the middle of the night driving cars through and loading up.
That was the solution,
That-
right?
exactly.
You
We
go to the
evolved.
store now, and they have drilled holes, and they put concrete
or they
pillars
put massive planters.
right along the front.
Or those stand-up gate things, those fences.
You know, a pool. When
Yeah,
did
they
we?
do.
You know, unless you were in the Diamond District in New York, when have we seen the pull-down metal
They're
doors?
everywhere now.
Those are more prevalent than not now
Right, they are.
And
on
when
some
did
of
we-
these high-end stores.
And when did we start
Glowing.
taking our shoes off just to get on an airplane?
Well, I want to tell you something, okay? Joanne, which has been on our panel before last week, sent
We
us a
miss
message.
you, Joanne.
Sent us a message, and she said she missed your segment on rules for radicals, Okay, and she really liked that you had been doing the segment. And this week, I took Amanda and I took interviews. We took the CNN town hall. We took so many things, and we read the Rules for Radicals game plan, and we stopped everywhere, didn't we? And we said, does this not fit?
Wow, that's what we need to do.
Did this not fit the exact narrative of Rules, right? And we broke it down this week. So you have been doing that, Bruce. CNN scripted town hall.
Oh my goodness.
Oh boy. Are we ready to go there?
Go. Yeah, we're ready to go there.
Okay, Rick's ready to go.
Take off, Rick.
Well, I mean, you know, my winners and losers, which I'll do just like the doc did. You know, I'll do the back end first. You know, my winners were going to be Dana Lash, Marco Rubio, and Colton Hobb. Each one of them have a different part in this whole thing. Colton Hobb is a young man that wouldn't be bullied by CNN, who now is deflecting and saying, well, that never happened. Baloney, it didn't happen.
Is he?
No, CNN is saying it.
CNN.
Oh,
you know,
CNN, not
CNN
Colton.
saying it.
Yeah,
No, not the kid.
I saw his interview.
No. I read that, not the kid.
He was on Tucker last night, and he went through the whole thing.
Oh,
and he said, you want me to
half of
read
that.
my original question? And to Tucker's credit, he didn't try to compare and contrast. He just wanted to bring out the fact that this guy wouldn't be bullied by CNN while all the other ones, you know, the Sinead O'Connor and, you know, the, I love that. and
That's why
you know, they came out and they literally came out with their little strips. They had their little CNN strips.
None of the mine, because I call her a skinhead.
Emma Gonzalez. Yeah, they had their
They had their
little
little strips, and she'd get in Dana Lash's face. And to Marco Rubio's credit, you know, I'd have come across and throttled one of those little.
Well, first of all, if I'm Marco Rubio, I'm sorry. There has to be a time where you just say, I'd have looked at that kid when he said, first of all, when I look at you, I'm looking down the barrel of an AR-15. Can you promise my friend? First of all, before I promised his friend he would live, I look at him and say, young man, how old are you? 17? I'm a grown-ass man. You need to understand before we go any further, I'm a grown-ass man.
Yeah.
You know, I would have, man. I mean, I'm not mad at Rubio, but no, I would not have.
I'm not mad at Rubio.
But,
I think he did a good job of holding his temper. I mean, you know, well, you're saying.
Tell that he was angry.
Oh yeah, you can sure tell that he was angry. Absolutely. So anyway, those guys were those three, for all different reasons, were and Dana Lash. I'm telling you, she is the new voice of the NRA. She's young.
Oh, that's what Amanda
female,
said this
she's
week.
vivacious. She's attractive. You know, you
Well, I
got
love vivacious and attractive. I'll go with that.
in the same
You're going to
sense.
get in trouble
weapons.
for that.
And she knows her weapons.
Yeah, that's first and
Kid,
foremost.
hey,
tell
I
ya.
check that off every
I
time.
know,
Here's
she
her
can-
qualifications.
yeah, she can break down and clean a weapon just like a. Anyway, back to Colton Hobb. He was he's a ROTC student.
Yeah, ROTC.
He's
Yes.
an ROTC guy, and he wasn't going to be bullied. So kudos to them. And my loser was going to be CNN. My loser is CNN.
Always.
Instead of presenting a calming influence and speaking like the president did at his listening session, town hall, whatever
Now
you
he
want to call
truly
it.
did.
You know,
I
even
watched that.
though he had
My winner.
the notes in his
My
hand.
winner of the week,
Who had the notes?
DJT. Donald
sat
Trump
there and
remember,
listened.
spoke
Yes.
the notes, and they zoomed
And
in
they
on it.
zoomed in on it. Give me a
So
break.
wonderful.
Yeah.
No,
You know.
the notes
Is
were
your winner
wonderful.
Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely
He listened to
first
every
class. They talk about him
First
as low as you could go on everything in every way whatsoever. Doesn't have the attention span. All the negatives. You know, we're not even 30 days. Rewind 30 days. They're wondering if he's got the mental stability to even qualify to buy his own firearm. And he did a great job this week in what I would say truly listening. Truly listening. and paying attention, and he put everybody in the meeting.
He didn't care how long the meeting took.
He put everybody in, and they didn't script where that microphone went around the room.
No, who's next? They just said who's next.
If you were there and said, "Hey, give me the mic," they gave him the mic.
Yeah. And the one that was the most compelling, I thought, there were several. But the father with his two sons that lost the daughter.
Yeah.
He stood up there and he said, "I'm pissed.
I'm a grown man. I'm a grown man. My
pissed.
kids have to live with this."
Yeah.
I go to the cemetery to visit my daughter.
Yeah.
And
it's heartbreaking.
But I mean, they focused on his note, and the last one was "I hear you." You know, it was sort of a memo to himself about whatever. And of course, the pundits are saying, the guy's got no empathy. He can't even do this on his own. He needs notes.
Oh my gosh!
Here's what I think. It's always important to hear what I think. Here's what I think. Okay, I think Donald Trump's listening session that he did the other day is about the truest example of the First Amendment I have seen in a long time, because there were several in the room that had disconnect with the NRA, that are upset, with guns, that want certain controls. But Donald Trump didn't say, you can't talk, you can't. If they're upset about that, they got an opportunity to say how they felt.
Yeah, and they got a right to be upset if they want to be.
Exactly. The other thing about that, and we'll get on that, is I'm upset about how we have played on these people's emotions that should have been, burying their children this week,
i.e. CNN,
and grieving that the raw emotions. And I have to tell you, as mad as anybody can get, if you want me to believe that David Hogue and Cameron, is that his name? Cameron Kasky, and what's Sinead O'Connor's name? Emma Gonzalez. If you want me to think that they're sad today, that they've cried, no, I've seen them chuckling, and I've seen them, I think they're loving the camera. And what happened to David? Where did he go? I haven't seen him in several days.
Which one?
David Hogue.
Yeah, where'd he go? He was lead man, right? Now, every one
in California.
Every one of us that are reading all the conspiracy theory, especially you, Jane, every one of us that are reading all the conspiracy theory,
for sure,
right?
Yes. I don't like that word conspiracy.
No, wait a minute. But every one of us that are reading this, we're the, out there. But David seems to have disappeared in the last 3 or 4 days. Am I wrong?
No, he's gone.
Where's David?
Well, he was in Tallahassee, right? Didn't he start in Tallahassee?
Yeah, I think he went to the state capitol thing.
The state capitol thing.
Yeah, but he was
He was very vocal there.
Yeah, but it's
You think one of the main stars of the CNN escapades here would be at the NRA meeting.
So what is the follow on to that? Have you got any theories?
No, I think everything CNN's done is scripted. I think they've played off this, MSNBC, all of them. I think they found these kids that are as liberal. And now, did you say Emma Gonzalez is openly gay?
She is. She leads the LGBTQ community at Majory High School.
Yeah. So she leads an LGBT community at the high school. So Emma, they found Trump haters to begin with, and your CNN and your and all 4 of the networks. Jane, what say you? Should the how do we secure the schools? If you're okay, if you want to, what would Jane do?
Well, can I say something first?
Absolutely, anything. I didn't mean to close the subject on that.
It's on the subject, but conspiracy is just a little condescending these days, because this is scripted. And if I knew a little bit more about how to get a video over to these fabulous guys, I saw yesterday a YouTube where Eric Holder. He was so young, he had big afro kind of thing, a mustache, he looked like he was about 32, talking in front of some organization saying, We have got to be in the schools, all of the schools, every day talking about gun control. This was that far back. He said, I don't mean once a week. I mean, we need to say this every day to our students. That had to be 10, 15, 20 years ago. And
longer than that, probably.
Yeah, you can pull it up. And he's saying every day, and I need to find out whom he was speaking with, but the thing is, he said it. This is all scripted, and it's just moving. It's the whole Soros thing and a lot more. And so now we have CNN scripting. It's all planned, and it's not a. It is the agenda of the globalist and how to take over our country. Number one. Number two, about securing the schools. I've thought a lot about that, and when I go down some paths, I say, but. Like if you have metal detectors, sure, those are expensive, but how expensive is one child? You have to say that. And then every child that comes in, they have their book bags, they have pens. I mean, that could be lines that take 3 hours to get in, so I don't know about that. Then you have guards, but the statistics are, I believe, that this shooting, the worst part happens from 3 to 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And for someone to get to that building over there that's 3 stories, if you know, how do they get there? I don't know how they get there.
So that begs the question that you have to have someone on campus right away.
Well, 3 to 5 minutes, 17 are dead.
It's a 40-acre
They're
campus.
dead.
I mean, with multiple levels.
Yeah,
buildings.
yeah.
So
you can't get
how
on.
can 1, 2,
2
10
guards,
guys
10 guys can't do it. So in my grandchildren's elementary school in Buckhead, you go. It's actually in Dunwoody. You go to the door. It's locked. It's an older school. It's public. You buzz. They say, "Who are you?" And before they knew my face, I'm so and so's grandmother. They check if I'm allowed on the sheet, and then they buzz me in. So I thought, well, that's not expensive, and I think that's reasonable. If this shooter had come, he was an old student of the school. He said, "I went in. I want to talk about getting back to school." He could have, he could have weaseled his way in. But the thing is that that's not that expensive, and I think that's not unreasonable. It's not, and if what's your agenda?
Expensive and unreasonable. I not that expensive and not unreasonable. Go ahead.
But everybody knows these are gun-free zones. So why do all these people walk into these schools, with satchels of guns? Because they know there's not going to be anybody to stop them.
Right.
Plus, all the major mass shootings have happened at public schools, no private schools, no home schools.
Well, there was one other one. There was one other one. The theater. Again, soft target, no guns allowed.
I like, and I didn't read Donald Trump's tweet, but exactly, here's my opinion. Yes, even somebody with mental health issues. Okay, all right. Now we find out this young man. There's multiple calls that the sheriff has come to the house, or police have come to the house. Multiple calls. Yeah. FBI dropped the ball. Okay, he has had mental evaluations. He has been going through. He has.
But the psychologist said he was not a threat to anybody.
Social.
Like he knew.
Okay. But here's the thing. Even mentally ill people, for some reason, understand they don't want to die. So I'm just saying, I agree that this guy, we call a sicko, we call him crazy, we call him everything. But if he thought that there was the odds were he was going to get killed, he would not have gone to that school. Okay, I just argue that all day long. He would not have gone to that school if he thought he was going to be the one to get killed. Because the guy actually did his murder, made a stop, and was drinking a Coke in a McDonald's. See, he didn't want to die. He knew enough he didn't want to die. He didn't even kill himself. Yeah. So I think I offered this, that you send out, we will, and it's not a negative thing to athletics, and I'm not going there, but we will, because we really get involved with FetcherNews.com, we will spend time, money, resources on paying and finding the right coach. We will spend money. We have supplemental pay. We go to the Board of Education, go to your local Board of Education and see how many millions of dollars right here in this county, surrounding counties, are spent every year. We will do supplemental pay for 5 assistants in this athletic program, 5 assistants, supplemental pay all day long. You put a form out in every teacher's box and you say, this is a volunteer program. You're not forced. Who would like to sign up to become eligible for this program? If they want to, carry the weapon. They go through the certain school training that has to happen. Blah, 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 background, and maybe they get a supplement, and maybe they rotate who's on duty week by week. I'm okay with the teachers doing that. Go, Bruce.
Does it create a false sense of security that teachers, like this resource officer, in the moment of potential battle, freeze or aren't willing to sacrifice their life for the kids?
Well,
it's a horrible situation.
I understand, but go ahead, Jane.
Thanks. So to that, we had 2 children. They were seniors, but they were children. The young man who held the door open, who was shot 9 times. The younger guy that was getting the students. He was an ROTC guy too. That helped kids, his classmates, get into the door. These people and the coach, they jump up. It's second nature. This guy who didn't go in, he could be an anomaly. That's one thing. I mean, most adults, when they see children getting hurt, children they don't know. If I saw a child walk across that street, I didn't know who they were, I would run out there and try to get them. It's instinct. This guy didn't have that. For what reason? We don't know. It could have been a lot of things without getting into something serious. So, another thing about the teachers carrying weapons. Here, I wanted to show this. I have a carrying permit for this state.
Me too.
All of us do. Now, I don't just have this to wear around my neck. I went to classes. I can shoot big guns. I can shoot rifles. I can shoot handguns. I can shoot all of that, and I hit the target. I do. I'm not.
There's a shot right here.
Just watch it. But you know what? This is important. Only if you know how to use the gun you're using. You don't just want to go get these and think I'm an expert, get a gun and start wheeling around the gun. But it's an important right we have. And I believe personally we should have stiffer background checks for a weapon. I don't have one problem with that. It's going to get into a little fishy stuff for some people. But hello, we have to start somewhere.
But stiffer background checks, okay? Okay, let's say that. Our background check laws now are not bad.
They're not good enough.
Wait, but they're not bad.
We have?
It's just the fact that let's look what happened in Florida. The government, which can't do anything right, from my opinion, they didn't put the data in.
Right.
If the data's
that was Dana Lash's point.
If the data's in, the kid doesn't get the gun.
She tried to make that point, and all they did was scream murder.
So if you yell background check, background. Now, I'm not against what you're saying, but if you stiffen the background check, but then yet the people responsible for updating the data, that doesn't happen in these government agencies.
Or acting on
There's so many, but you got to start somewhere. I mean, you got to start somewhere, and so it's a huge problem.
I tell you what,
it's
huge. Got me. We gotta do some things quickly. It's a great show, great topics. I swear we've got to put more time into this.
Give us some more time, guys.
All right, we can.
An hour and a half.
I have a puppy out here that's waiting. I got 2 puppies today.
Got the puppies.
How's the puppies today? Listen. Okay, NRA has become the villain. This, according to the
They're
media.
the fall guy.
They're the fall guy.
Definitely.
Become?
Assault
they continue
weapons,
to be.
Weapons of
war. Give me a break.
AR-15s.
That is no more a weapon of war?
Yes, sir.
Than a pea shooter.
I knew what was going to happen there. Yes or no? Change the law for all firearms 21 years old? Yes or no?
Maybe.
No.
All firearms 21 years old?
I have to think about that because at 18 I was shooting with my brothers and but you have to be responsible. So maybe you've got to say, is this person mature enough? Who decides that? Some psychologist that didn't know us whatever from a hole in the ground. I mean, So I don't know. I mean, all these guys around here hunt like crazy. I don't know if their gun, the 18-year-old that goes out and hunts, or the 16 with his dad.
I guess it's a difference between,
if you're gonna move,
but you got a gun.
Using a gun versus buying a gun.
Move voting to 21. If
can we go back 20 seconds?
20 seconds.
To what we talked about before. When Bruce's point is well taken, will the teacher, if confronted, use the weapon if they're assigned. I still think it's a state of mind. If a shooter a potential shooter knows that it's not a soft target anymore, that's going to be a deterrent in and of itself.
If you go up to the school building and the sign says
there are weapons,
gun-free zone, that's what it says. But if you walk up and there's a big sign saying this facility is protected within it by weapons. There's weapons within this facility, blah, 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 right here. When you walk in, whether they're used or not, there are weapons inside here.
There are training that I want to go to. I haven't been to the official one, but you take your handgun and then you walk through a maze or whatever, and then they have people, cardboard figures jump out. You have to decide, is that a woman shopping, a threat, or a friend, and you go through that and you do it over and over. Now, if I had guns in my child's school, I would like to think the people, this isn't going to be like, okay, tomorrow you apply and the next day you get a gun. I think you should go through some kind, and then you either pass or fail.
Well, to back that up, Fox had a guy on who was the first SWAT officer going into Columbine. He does private, guard stuff now. And he says, yeah, that's all very good, but he said it's very difficult because people who are responsible for kids and weapons and all that, they need to train virtually every month. So,
okay,
is that something teachers can do?
Okay,
I would do it if I were a teacher.
Here's the fear I have. Here's the fear I have. Even with this kid that did this monster, here's the fear I have. Okay, this week we've had in North Georgia at least 4 schools I'm aware of. 4. Okay, that there were threats through social media. Who is going to monitor every kid's Instagram account? A kid with an Instagram account said, hey, I'm coming to school tomorrow. Another kid said, I have the text message. A person sent me the screenshot and said, are you giving me a warning that maybe tomorrow's not a good day to show up at school? Boom, shut down. Another school south of here, another school. Dawson, we have an article on FetchYourNews.com.
Right there on bathroom walls.
Right, Dawson, okay. What are we going to do now? These are juveniles. My concern, okay, is this kid, a judge ruled that his mental health background as a juvenile can be a part of this, okay? They can open it up, it's public, okay?
Well,
on mental health, what if you're 16, 17 years old, you think you're sowing your wild oats, but somebody out there in the psychology world says, I think he's a little nuts.
And they're all liberals. They're all liberals. The psychology.
That's what they type. So, but
is that a clinical diagnosis? Exactly. I think he's a little nuts.
I gotta take my reputation.
It's a Mel Brooks movie, okay? All right, shut up. So somebody 16, I think this guy is... All right. Anyhow, can I get the point out? I think he's a little nuts, okay?
Keep trying.
He's 16 years old. You guys say I'm sorry. He's 16 years old.
Serious. Come on.
He's 16 years old, and then he goes 21 years old, and he goes to buy a firearm, and he says, well, your psychiatrist said when you're 16, he thought you was a little off your rocker. Okay, yeah. You can't have a firearm. What are we going to do? You understand what I'm trying to say?
It's a big part of this whole solution to this issue.
The mental health.
The mental health thing is like from like conservative to like very liberal. So you get some shrinks that go, yeah, no problem. The other one's going to lock the kid up.
Let me just say, my husband's a doctor, and a long time we have a lot of friends. I would like to say that of all the mental health people I know, I will not make names, they are 99.99% liberal. Number one.
And we won't use the word conspiracy.
Are we going to start analyzing our kids around age 14?
I want to analyze the dadgum health officials. I mean, that's who I want to analyze.
Do you understand what I just said? Are we going to start sending our kids at 14 for a psychological analysis to see what might happen? Do you understand what I said?
But you can't, because the people doing the analysis are liberal.
ACLU is going to be all over this. ACLU and NRA could join,
It's just like the judges. It's just like the judges, where they're all now they're trying to weed them out. We can't take Hillary to trial in a civil case. All the judges are liberal. I mean, it'd be a joke.
Okay, folks, let's figure out the day. Let's figure out the day, and let's take this show to another day next week. I want to do another day next week. Let's see if we can take this. Let's see what happens. Let's take this discussion. Let's look at our schedule, because I know we get 45 minutes and it just flies by. But this is, I think, we have a good time. I think we're really bringing out some good things that people want to talk about.
And they want to think about.
For losers and
that's what we're getting ready to do. But,
okay.
All right. Bruce, what do you have?
No, let Jane go.
No, I'm not going
Bruce.
first.
Okay. Well, I already did my winner was Donald J. Trump. Loser, Barack Hussein Obama. 8 years in office, 9 mass shootings, didn't do squat.
Had his opportunity, Emma. Go ahead.
I'm going to, I did my winners and losers before. I'm going to throw out another winner. Another winner was a guy by the name of Daryl Scott, the father of the first child killed in Columbine, started Rachel's Challenge. Rachel's Challenge has visited over 1,200 schools, and they don't focus on weapons. They don't focus on anything other than bullying, compassion, and understanding at the level of the schools. They try to help kids that are troubled kids, and they've been very, very successful. They've, they have recorded over saving the life of hundreds of kids that would have tried to, I don't know how they statistically say this, but, save kids from committing suicide. They don't focus on weapons. They focus on compassion, anti-bullying, which is a big deal.
Big thing.
It's a big deal in the schools. This is what drives a lot of these kids to come back and take revenge, like the 2 at Columbine. So that's my winner, Daryl Scott, father of Rachel Scott, who started Rachel's Challenge.
Jane?
Remind me of the young man who wouldn't do the script on CNN. It slipped my mind.
Colton Hobb.
Colton Hobb. He's my winner. I mean, we have a lot of winners, and Trump was a winner, but this man was so brave. I mean, this is a young man who stood up to this cabal. He stood up for what he thought was right, and he is a young person. I mean, that man has courage. That young man has courage. And I just hold my hand up to him and salute him. And the losers, where do I start? I mean, CNN, Obama, Hillary. I mean, when the losers are just crazy. But yeah, they are. But that young man is dear to my
the
heart.
cop who wouldn't go in. There's a lot of losers.
Yeah,
this
there's
week.
a lot of losers.
A lot of losers.
A lot of losers this week.
Hey, folks,
Not the all-star panel, though.
As we close, folks,
Right.
as we close, one subject we did not cover, and we do have our Pet of the Week coming up. We promise. We have our sports update that is going to happen this morning. I appreciate Jane, Rick, and Bruce, and this has been some great discussion. We needed more time, and I think what we'll do is look at a time this week we could get together and maybe even go a little further on this, promote it out there so you'll know in advance the discussion and the topics we're going to have, and you can get involved online through social media. But here's what I want to say. Folks, the media likes to play on your fear. They love to play on your fear. So maybe I'll try it. Nancy Pelosi, she scares the hell out of me, okay? So I'm going to play on your fear. Guess what? Democrats need 24 seats to take back the House. Guess what? The Supreme Court of Pennsylvania's liberal activist judges rewrote the congressional district in Pennsylvania. Guess what? All of the people that watch this feel that they moved 8 to 10 seats over into the Democrat column this November. Guess what? Hey, it's like starting the game and say, I'll spot you 10 points. They need 24, folks. Liberal judges in Pennsylvania just moved 8 to 10 seats over to the Democrats. What say you? So let me scare the hell out of you again. You might not like Paul Ryan. I understand. I'm not a fan favorite. But I will tell you this. Nancy Pelosi scares the hell out of me, and you people better wake up, these liberal activist judges. Take us to break, and we're going to come back right after this with a sports update.